Hi YouTube, me again. Oh, hold on, just got to put this out of picture because that's a surprise to show you later. Just having a cup of coffee. It's still the 27th of July 2019 and I've changed my top. I've got a cup of coffee and I've let Boris's energy go. Quite enjoyed doing it actually. And now I'd like to just open this up to a more general session. There's a few things I want to say. One is linked to Mary Magdalene, one is linked to the weather, and then I'm going to take some questions from my Facebook page and I'll see how long my battery lasts and how long I last. It's actually very tiring doing energy work. Those of you that do it know exactly what I mean. So I haven't got an awful lot of fuel left in my tank after Boris, but I have got an empty house, a quiet house, and I wanted to get a bit of video work done. So let's just see how far I can get going with it. Let's get straight into it. Mary Magdalene. I've got a story to share with you. And this is a level of personal that usually I wouldn't share. I'm not particularly comfortable sharing, but Mary's like, well, I gave you the sign, so, you know, you're meant to tell them. So I was like, fine, okay, I will. So this goes back to my last video that I made a few days ago about Mary. And do you remember I was using the Magdalene Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno? And I said in passing that it looked the colour of menstrual blood. And the message came through from Mary regarding, she was showing me the two stages of womanhood, because of course there are more than two, but she was showing me puberty, when young girls first start to menstruate, and that she was with them. And then she also brought in some information about young girls who struggle in parts of the world where it is regarded as dirty in some way. You can look back at the video. And then she also mentioned women when the blood dries up. And I didn't actually expand on that point because there wasn't anything that came through in that video. Anyway, so I put the video up and go to bed. And I myself am 52, so I'm into the menopause now, and have not had a period for at least 6 months, maybe longer, can't actually remember, but certainly 6 months. And any woman that's gone through that change, well, maybe it's different for everybody, but for me it literally was a case of going from having them to not having them. Okay, so it was literally like an overnight thing. 1 month they were there and had been with me for, you know, 35 years of my life, regular as clockwork, and then they're not there. And it's like, oh, okay, well, look at your age, menopause, right, this must be it. And it takes you a few months to get your head around it. And you actually, well, for me, it was almost like mourning the loss of that blood every month. And it really took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting to mourn it. You go into a bit of a dive in terms of the end of your fertile days in that respect. And you have to embrace the next stage of womanhood, basically. If there are men watching me at this stage, please stick with me, because at the end of the day, you've all got mothers, you might have got sisters, you may very well have wives, girlfriends, partners, friends. And the reason I want to talk about this is because Mary is wanting to break down some of the stigma surrounding this whole subject. So I'm not going to go on and on about it for ages, but don't just switch off because I'm talking about this, because it feels really important. So anyway, yes, I went through almost like a mini grief period. I'm at the age where my daughters now are, you know, in bloom, as it were. And so you really are, you're hammered from many different angles, with your body suddenly not doing what it has been doing for decades. starting to feel older, and then also having daughters who are just, you know, gorgeous, which is wonderful. You know, never been a mother who's jealous or anything like that. Let them have their time in the sun is what I always say. But it's a strange old mix, and those of you that have gone through it know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, did the video with Mary. She brought up the subject of menstrual blood, and then I wake up the following day and I'm bleeding. First time in, as I say, 6 or 8 months, and there'd been nothing, and then suddenly it's back. I know it's not back for good, but what was so interesting about it was that I knew it was Mary's way of saying a few things. Firstly, that I'm working through you, which I knew anyway. I know when I'm channeling an energy and it feels authentic. Indeed, I wouldn't do it if I didn't feel that. Any of my challenging channelings are always authentic, because most of the channelings I do are of people or beings that aren't necessarily expected in some quarters, you know. Anyway, that's beside the point. I knew it was a sign that she was working through me, but I also knew it was almost like her way of saying, okay, go back on and just mention the other end of the spectrum, the women whose blood dries up all of a sudden, and you're thrown into this whole spectrum of almost not feeling like a woman, just temporarily, before you get your head around it. And for me, it had been really, really sudden, as I say. There had been no warning of it. And I feel it was almost like it was like a gift that she gave back to me. It's like one more chance to just experience that, but equally be able to say goodbye to it, if that makes any sense. So that was one aspect of it happening. The other aspect of it was that I also knew it was to do with clearing the womb area, which it is every month, of course, for a woman. It's always about clearing and cleaning the womb area. It's not just blood that is released, it's the lining. So it was almost as though it was a cleanse from within, given by Mary to just prepare me for the next stage of my life. And then the other thing she said to me, the third message that came through with it, was regard to, well, you are of the bloodline. And by that, what she means is the Essene bloodline. And I know that. I mean, I know it. I've known it for a long time. But again, when you have proof of it like that, it was like, wow, okay. It was really humbling. It was a blessing. So I wanted to share that because, in fact, the fourth aspect of it, there was another aspect of it, which is like, I thought, wow, she is a powerful healer in her own right. And I had said those words on the video, and I'd said those words in workshops over the last year when I ran Mary Magdalene workshops. But every single time I've really dipped in and channeled her in any pronounced way, she has always given me a really strong sign. I've had signs linked into the twin flame energy. This was a very physical sign in terms of my body and my healing and my life stage that I'm at. And as I say, bloodline, Essenes, all of that type of thing. And I just thought, wow, she is powerful. She is powerful beyond measure. No wonder the church wanted to suppress this energy. You know, no wonder they wanted to suppress this energy. She's powerful in her own right. So I really wanted to share that with you, and I hope it resonates with some of you, because I thought it was very beautiful. And the other thing, no pain, you know, no pain with the blood that came, just a purging. So a bloodletting is what she's saying to me, a bloodletting. I used to give blood actually years ago, and really must start doing that again. But the point is, you know, when you release blood, it's a cleansing, it's a purging process, it's a bloodletting process. Anyway, roll forward to today, and I come on, I think I'm going to mention that on the video. I'm shuffling the deck of cards that I've just used for good old Boris, okay, which is the Mystical Shaman Oracle. And a card falls out of the deck. I think, oh, I wonder what that is. About to do this new video. It's the curse. Now, this isn't a curse in terms of I'm putting a spell on you. This is what a lot of women call their monthly bleed. I've often heard it referred to as the curse. I think it's quite old-fashioned language. Maybe it's my mother's generation. Is it a phrase that you've heard before? Because it's certainly one I've heard before. And I'm wondering, biblical references even, going back to Adam and Eve, you know? Adam and Eve, when they were cast out of the Garden of Eden, Eve was the one, you know, who had tempted Adam, and the Bible talks about, you know, and forevermore pain will be bestowed upon her, and it links it into childbirth. I mean, it's all Old Testament stuff. It's not the energy of what Christ or Mary would now say at all. And I think that's why she's showing me this card, the curse, because she's saying to me, what she's saying, tell them, Amanda, tell them, because for me it was a gift. When I saw the blood again, it was a gift. It was like, oh, my body still sort of can do that, and oh, how wonderful is that, and oh, maybe it isn't all over. It was like all these emotions came up. It was a gift. The blood was a gift from her. It was the complete and utter opposite of it being a curse. And I think that's why I got shown it a final time, to be able to come on and to give a message for women out there who are still, you know, fertile, going through their monthly cycles, to start to let go of any old energy that your ancestors might have held, linked into the fact that this blood flow every month is somehow a curse, you know? I mean, of course it can be an inconvenience, but it can be an inconvenience that can be controlled, that can be managed. It doesn't have to be something like in the old days where you just sort of, you know, went into a room and hid. But in some parts of the world, that's still happening. That's why Mary's bringing it up. In some parts of the world, it's still regarded as a curse. It's still regarded as something quite shameful, something quite dirty, something that we don't talk about. You know, I remember a few years ago here in the UK, they started to open up the advertising so you could actually advertise sanitary ware on the TV. And the first time it came on, I remember thinking, oh God, that's a bit off, isn't it? But it was good that I felt that, because I was being real, I was being authentic. That was a cultural reference. You know, the British are terrible. We're all like stiff upper lip, don't talk about things that are slightly messy, or, you know. Well, fortunately, days are changing and energy is changing. And now, you know, you see these adverts, and why should it be something to be shameful, or why should it be something that's embarrassing? It's a natural part of life. It's a natural part of women's life. So, yeah, so here we go, the curse. Let's pull one more card that goes with that, shall we? Let's pull one more card that goes with that. And let's go to the Mary Magdalene deck now, okay? So, I'm almost feeling it's literally as though the word of God, according to Genesis, is the one that supposedly put the curse onto women. God would never have said that. I'm gonna have to go and close my window. They're just about to fire up that digger. Hold on, I think. Or is it a car? Oh, it's something else. Hold on, guys. Funny old energy. Joys of working at home. I'm really getting to the point where I need an office outside of the house, but anyway, I'll give that one up to Metatron. Where was I? Yeah, let's have a card from Mary Magdalene Oracle, please. Let's spray the spray. I can actually show you the proper bottle this time. I've got Tracy to send me one. This is our image of Mary on the bottle. Okay. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of all aspects of who you are as a woman. All stages. All are to be embraced. There is no curse. There never was a curse. Ascension. Brilliant card, Mary. Brilliant card. The card of Ascension. Let's transcend all of that. Let's transcend this curse energy. Let's ascend it. Let's move on from it. Let's bring in the energy of peace. Nobody's banished from the Garden of Eden. Come back. Be welcomed back. Be welcomed back to Eden in all your completeness, in all your humanness, in all your nakedness, in all your womanliness, in your very essence, in your beauty, in your vulnerability. With bodies that are built to procreate, to give birth, to give pleasure, to be savoured, to be enjoyed, to be celebrated in terms of what it is to be a woman. The power of the female, the power of her essence, her spirit, has been dangerous for so many who feared its power. The old patriarchal energy who wanted to oppress and keep women veiled. Come out and show the world who you are. Talk about who you are. Let the world see you. Let the world enjoy you. Let you enjoy you. The blood of life, the blood of creation, the blood of the mother, the blood of God, goddess, all that is. Sending my love and my healing out to all of the daughters of the world. All of the sisters, all of the mothers, all of the grandmothers, all of the wise elders, all of the infants, all of the girls who are circumcised to prevent pleasure from being experienced in this lifetime. That has to stop. That has to stop. I see all that is done to suppress and keep the power of true goddess feminine energy from rising on this planet. And I will no longer be silent. I am here, and I am Mary, and I am with you. There's also something coming through here from her about how other women can curse other women. Look at her eyes in this card. Okay. So it's like she's talking about sisterhood and what other women can do to other women, and how as sisters we need to be uniting more across race, across age, across lifestyle, across continents, and to start to see the power of women unified and to stop the fighting amongst ourselves. So it's not just the patriarchal energy trying to suppress the power of women. Women are also trying to suppress the power of women. I mean, my God, I've seen that in my own life. Most of the criticism that I get, most of the betrayals that I get linked to my work or have had, it's always been women. It's always been women. And it's women that will look at other women and say, you shouldn't be wearing that, or you shouldn't be doing that. Why do we do that to each other? We've got to be better than that, is what Mary is saying. We've got to step up and support each other more. And we've got to show the way. And what unites us as women is blood. And even when it's dried up, even when it's no longer there, every single woman will have had a trace of that bloodline through decades of their life. And she's saying it's a bit like it still has energy even when it's dried up, even when it stops, even when the blood stops. The energy of it is still present around you, within you. So let's just send a prayer out from Mary then today, shall we? So let's call her in and let's just ask for some healing for ourselves and for the women of the world. For you watching, whether you're male, whether you're female, let's bring in some healing energy from Mary Magdalene into your feminine essence, into that aspect of you that is giving, compassionate, generous, gentle, strong, fierce, receptive, that seeks beauty, that stands up for what is right. And bringing her energy in through the left-hand side of your body. Just feeling her gentle energy as it comes into the left-hand side of the body, the feminine side of us, whatever gender we hold. And feeling the balancing of that. Feeling Mary Magdalene's energy flowing into the sacral chakra and into the heart. And all the way down the spine. The energy of pink, the energy of olive green, the colours of the divine feminine, pouring into you, helping to heal and bring you back to a state of grace. Let a state of grace run through you, around you, and change the world. Namaste. I think I'll leave this video as just this subject. Namaste, everyone. Back later. Bye.